Good morning. I'm Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. We had an incident this morning at the Arkema plant sometime after midnight, maybe closer to 1 a.m. There was a release. We had chemical reaction. This event had been expected and planned. We're out here working closely with between the Harris County Sheriff's Office and also the Fire Marshal's Office. There were different organic peroxides of different grades that were released, and it created a pop in the containers where they were being stored, and some gray smoke initially emanated from it and eventually turned into black smoke. We did have some deputies out in that perimeter, and so it is not anything toxic. It's not anything that we feel is a danger to the community at all. The plant had lost power on Sunday and went to a backup plant, and so those peroxide, organic peroxides had to be maintained at a certain temperature. Once that dropped, it created that pop in the containers they were in. It wasn't an explosion. I want to be very clear. It was not an explosion. We had a number of deputies out there that were maintaining a perimeter. As a precaution, they were taken to a nearby hospital for testing. We have between 10 and 15 people out there. You include Sheriff's Office deputies as well as EMS provider. 3 of our deputies have already been through the protocol at the hospital. It's my understanding they're being released. So far, everything appears to be negative, but we're still taking that precaution. And we feel that we were going to treat this as take a defensive posture and be able to contain everything in the plant. I want to be clear, it's not any kind of an explosion. Our deputies, after seeing the smoke, did experience some type of eye irritant around their eyes and their throat, and that's basically from the smoke. It's basically standing over a barbecue pit or something like that, and you start getting smoke in your eyes. That's basically what occurred. We've been meeting since Sunday multiple times per day. The Harris County Sheriff's Office as well as the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office. Assistant Chief Royals here as well to be able to provide details on the organic peroxide. But that's the information we have right now. So,
is there a fire?
There is a fire out there. Well, I'll let him explain that. Just some of the containers are basically popping. We do have some images from earlier, not from tonight, just to show you kind of what the containers look like. And so some of those have been popping out there. And so we'll be able to explain that there's like 36,000 pounds in each container. We have 9 containers out there. This is where this is going to be contained on site. Assistant Chief Royal, if you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'm Assistant Chief Bob Royal. The last name is R-A-Y-A-L-L. I'm Assistant Chief Emergency Operations for the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office. The Harris County Hazmat team is part of my command. We've been engaged in this since early Tuesday morning, wee hours of Tuesday morning. We have been doing planning. We have consulted subject matter experts, chemists about organic peroxides. We have worked with the company, with the Crosby Fire Department, who is the incident commander for this incident. We've developed what we consider a very safe plan. The area has been evacuated to a 1.5-mile radius. We're holding a perimeter with our law enforcement partners. This morning, just before 1 or around 1 a.m., we did have a report of a series of pops from the scene, which we had expected. Everything's going exactly the way we had expected it. There was some gray smoke that was emanated, that came from that at that time, which turned into black smoke because there was a fire. This is only one of the 18-wheeler box fans that is on the site. We just had an overflight, I guess, Sheriff, I don't know, gosh, the last hour, with the Sheriff's Department helicopter. They confirmed that we do have a fire in that container. They said they have visible flames, and there's black smoke coming up 30, 40 feet in the air. What will happen with these containers that are inside this box fans is they will pop, and they will heat up, and they will catch on fire. And as such, they will burn with intensity until the fuel is consumed, and then they will die down again. So that's where we're at right now. As the sheriff said, we did have some law enforcement officers that were in the, or got caught in the smoke, if you will, holding the perimeter. I would let him speak to their condition or whatever the situation is. But right now, everything has gone according to what we thought was going to happen so far. And we're in a defensive posture. The Crosby Fire Department is out there on scene. There is air monitoring being deployed by a contractor by the company to try to find out and watch and see where the smoke might go. And so right now, our 1.5 mile safety zone around this is more than adequate. And until something changes, we're going to continue our same posture. Agree with that, Sheriff?
Yes, right.
So the chemicals are strictly in the containers in the vans, or any larger tanks?
No, they're in containers in cardboard boxes inside the vans.
Why are you all being so careful about the term explosion? Why are you differentiating explosion from popping and fire?
Well, whenever you use the word explosion, a lot of people think of a high order explosion, something that would be devastating. And we just, everything that we have studied and talked to our subject matter experts about doesn't indicate that that's going to happen. Could something happen? Gosh, anything can happen when you're in emergency response, and we're still underwater out there. So we're being very cautious, making sure that we protect the community and that we have a plan in place in the event that this thing were to escalate, so that we make sure that we do the right thing. So our job is to protect the community and our environment, and that's what we're attempting to do. We haven't had massive explosions because that's not what we expect. And so we've had these containers pop. If you want to call it an explosion, there's a technical definition for that, and I'm not going to get into that. But basically, we had container overpressure. Small container, 15 pounds.
How did you guys notify the community about the evacuation?
That has been done by other authorities. That's not part of the Harris County Fire Marshal's responsibility.
Do you all know how that alert went out to the community?
The fire department's been working with that, along with the law enforcement.
So there are how many containers, and how there are 15-pound containers, which are the size of what, like compared to like a propane tank or something? How big is it for them?
Certainly they're not a propane tank.
I understand.
I want to make sure you understand that. They can be anything, and if I was going to give you a comparison, probably like a gallon container up to maybe a 10-gallon container. They're various sizes, various grades. They're different products. There's not all the same product. These chemicals are typically used as a catalyst in the manufacture of plastics.
How many vans?
There are 9 vans. Of the 9, 3 had lost refrigeration to keep them cool. The other ones are still under refrigeration. Okay? Their refrigeration units are still working.
Do you know if everyone in that 1.5 mile radius evacuated, or if anybody stayed behind?
Ma'am, I couldn't answer that. I've been at the Harris County EOC. We've had a major flood, so I haven't been out here. You would have to talk with the Crosby Fire Department, who was affecting that rescue.
You used the term release, and earlier the spokesman was very clear this is not a release. It was a combustion. Can you clarify it all?
Well, I believe the sheriff. It was a chemical reaction that caused the the container to fail, releasing, and then it catches on fire because heat builds up.
Sheriff, what are the health and environmental risks associated with a chemical like this?
Well, the deputies, I think one of the reasons we had some additional concern is that some of the deputies that we had around the perimeter, when they started seeing first the gray smoke that transitioned into black smoke, was that as they were trying to kind of get out of the area, maybe some of the AC in their vehicles sucked it in, and so they started getting irritation in their eyes, in their throat a little bit. And so again, we use a comparison. It's like standing over a barbecue pit or something like that emanates smoke, and it kind of gets in your eyes, something to that effect. As a precaution, they went to area hospitals. They're being tested and going through their protocols. As of now, I'm told that at least 3 have already gone through that and prepared, everything checked out fine. The others are still completing that. Everything appears to be negative. So, and they were basically very close to that. So, if they're going through that, then we just, our understanding and based on what we've gotten the last couple of days in deliberations with the company, with the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, we just don't believe there's any further threat, even to the broader community. Even if somebody had stayed behind in the evacuated zone, we don't think that there's. So we just want to manage the narrative a little bit, just to make sure that people don't get in a panic and anything like that if there doesn't have to be.
What other facilities are you guys monitoring for this kind of incident?
Are we monitoring any actively right now? Any other facilities in the area?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Are you guys monitoring any other types of facilities for this kind of threat?
We are personally not monitoring. That is industry's responsibility, and so I'm at this time I don't have anything that I could share with you to give you the status of those other facilities. There's many of them in our, not this kind of facility, but there's many chemical facilities in our community, as you know.
Is there any idea how long those other containers will stay refrigerated?
I'm sorry.
Is there any idea how long those other, you said that not all of them have lost refrigeration. Is there any idea how long they'll stay refrigerated?
I don't know what the fuel is in those containers right now. They evacuated the plant, like I said, on Tuesday morning, and these days kind of run together right now. I apologize. So they've been running. I don't know what the fuel capacity is. So they're under refrigeration. We actually are watching those very closely. So I don't have a feel for how long the fuel is going to hold those.
So, and just to be clear, it's 9 vans.
It's 9 box vans, like 18-wheeler box vans.
Yes, and one has popped.
Yes, ma'am. One has had containers pop on the inside and a chemical reaction, which subsequently became a fire, which we anticipated from the very start. This is what we have planned for.
Okay, one more question, guys, and then we'll do another brief in a little bit. Anybody?
What's the situation in the facility now? Is it flooded? And these vans did they move the tanks into the vans in anticipation of flooding? Is that how
Let's
that
be
works,
clear
or?
first, they're not tanks.
I mean,
Okay.
the containers.
Okay, they're small containers. And I don't know what their emergency process was on that. The facility is completely shut down. They lost power. There's no processing going on there. These are storage trucks, if you would, box vans.
¿Usted nos podría decir qué ha pasado?
And one thing I want to say, the company